What we got here is the DYU D3F, and apparently it's the smallest e-bike and the cheapest e-bike you can get on the internet.
It's got cute little 14-inch tyres, a 36-volt 10-amp-hour battery, and DYU reckon with pedalling it can power you along for 30 to 37 miles.
Now, whenever I do a manufacturer's stated range, I've always got to give a little disclaimer, like to say that you've got to be as light as a helium balloon to get that target, or it's got to be a nice sunny day not to upset the battery, and you've also got to be on pedal assist level 1. Now, usually pedal assist 1's a bit crap really, and that's the problem.
But this bike is so simple it doesn't want to complicate your ride with unwieldy pedal assist levels. This is a single pedal assist level, so this is the speed you will be travelling. And if you are as light as Ant-Man's left testicle, you should be able to get over 30 miles at this speed.
Only, I don't even know how fast this is. Give them a speedo. They don't need a speedo. Just feel how hard the wind hits their face.
The DYU D3F is a massively uncomplicated bike, and considering the price, they sell it for about €600, you are getting what you pay for, i.e. not a lot. No gears, no speedo, no assist levels, no computer with any information, just some lights to tell you how much battery is left.
And speaking of lights, it's got a front light, which is nice, but at the back, they've just given you this wraparound thing because it doesn't actually have one itself. It's alright.
It's definitely for other people to see you rather than for you to see other people.
You're not really going to see anyone until the last minute.
So far, it's sounding like the bike isn't the best bike in the world. Well, no, it isn't. But at the price it sells, as one of the cheapest e-bikes you can get, it's definitely decent value, and it does have that unique selling point.
It is tiny. It's so small that even my 7-year-old son can ride it, only he's not allowed to yet because you've got to be 14 to ride an e-bike. But the seat also extends enough to make it quite comfortable for a fully grown man-child. Now, I'm 5'9". I reckon this would be okay for anyone up to, say, about 6'1". Any taller than that, you're going to look a bit silly when you're pedaling.
The collapsible handlebar stem and foldable pedals allow you to get it into a medium-sized car boot with ease. Those handlebars aren't adjustable, but they're tall enough to be comfortable to use no matter how high the seat is. The battery and controller are contained inside the body of the bike, which is then surrounded by the bike's frame, which also doubles as a really handy carrying handle. And despite the low price, the bike does come with mudguards. Now, the question on everybody's mind is probably, how fast can this teeny weeny e-bike go? Well, according to the GPS, because remember the bike doesn't have a speedo, the bike pushes my 100 kilograms self along at about 12 to 15 miles per hour, depending on whether I'm going slightly uphill or slightly downhill, with speeds usually at about 14 miles per hour on the flat. But how fast could you go if you didn't mind getting a bit sweaty?
Speed test time, flat ground. Let's go. With pedaling, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 19. Can't get up at 19. Bloody hell. Yeah, 19 miles an hour. Oh, let's get back. That's my exercise for today. This means that, all in all, this is an e-bike you could actually go to work on, or to use for the last mile to or from public transport in the same way you'd use an e-scooter. Only with one massive difference. This is legal.
Okay, well, it kind of is. It does have a full twist throttle, which you'll probably prefer to use rather than pedaling, but it is highly unlikely that you get into any trouble over a throttle on a 250 watt tiny e-bike. It's just not going to happen.
It'd be like a football team escaping relegation by the skin of the teeth, and then the following season winning the Premier League, 1 in 5,000. And that about sums up this e-bike perfectly. It is the underdog of e-bikes. If Ted Lasso rode an e-bike, he'd ride this. It's nippy, it's compact, it's cheap, and it fulfills its role perfectly, and without any drama. It's great.
But there is one thing that it isn't.
Now the thing is, this isn't actually the cheapest or the smallest e-bike you can get on the internet. Is it?
Nope.
This is the DYU S2. Yes, it's also made by DYU, so they won't mind me saying this, but it's smaller than the D3F. It's cheaper than the D3F, but does that mean you should get the S2 instead?
So here are the DYU S2 on my left and the DYU D3F on my right. As you can see, they are fairly similar. There's those bodies, full body there, bar across the top there. Seat, suspension, saddle. The safe maximums are very similar. The S2 looks ever so slightly lower. There's the 14-inch wheels of the D3F and the much harder, not as comfortable, 10-inch wheels of the S2. Pedals, similar story, although I've just noticed I've lost all the reflectors. Well, all but one reflector on the S2 pedals. They just slide out. This one was coming out as well. These might be glued in a bit better. I had this bike for a year though, so let's have a quick look at the computers. So turn that on, you get a blue light there on the S2. Turn on D3F over on the left here, and then this light pops on there. You got the battery bars. Both got full grip throttles, which we're not going to do. This one's got a nice light switch, which is a lot easier to use than the button that you've got to hold down on the D3F. At the rear of the S2, you've got that sort of night rider flashing light. Again, not great for illuminating things, not that you ride backwards, but it helps people to see you. Nothing on the D3F apart from this one that they give you. One press for flashing, slower flashing, constant, off. Different saddles. I found the S2 is a bit more comfortable than this, but there's not much in it really. Could be because of the suspension saddle. I don't generally like suspension saddles very much, but it possibly is because of that. Plastic mudguards all round, at least they've got them. And finally the S2, buzzer, the D3F. Ding ding! The D3F is about 18 kilograms, the S2 is about 17.6 kilograms. As you can see, the DYU D3F is a small e-bike, but it is not the smallest e-bike on the internet, nor is it the cheapest.
So which one should you get? Well, the S2 does appear to do everything the D3F can do, but better. It's smaller and cheaper than the D3F, and with the rear light and buzzer, it's slightly better spec too. But which one will do better in the e-VRC hill climb test? Because yes, I did ignore the funny looks and take both of these up Sandy Lane.
Go! Right. Whoa. Not the best start. Now, it's worth noting, the C20 Pro is 250 watts. Pretty sure it started a lot faster than this. Same with the Escooter Wayfarer, 250 watts. I don't even know how fast we're going because this bike doesn't have a speedo, because it is very basic. I don't think it's going to make it somehow. Now remember, this is kind of a pointless test for e-bikes because I will test this with pedals in a second, but it looks like we're going to get there. Right, so that metal post, the metal post, that's where we got to, the metal post. Let's carry on, see if we can get it with pedaling. Now the pedals aren't the best for this kind of thing. I would say that this bike is more of a throttle bike. However, we are getting up. It's not the prettiest, but we're getting there. Woo. The question is, will the DYU S2 do any better? Right now is the turn of the bike that the internet forgot about. The bike that's smaller than the DYU D3F, the DYU S2. Go! So, since the DYU D3F is the weakest hill climber I've tested so far, I haven't got great expectations for its smaller sister, but it is the same power. Tiny bit lighter at 17.6, but it does seem like it's going faster. Still don't know how fast I'm going because I've got no speedo. But what might help it out is the smaller wheels, which at 10 or 12 inches, I'll put it on the screen, I'm not sure, means that in theory we should be getting more torque, and indeed we are. We've gone past the penis post where the D3F got to, but it is struggling now. Don't think it's going to get to the tree. Where's it going to get to? This point here, the second tree. Oh. Now, here's the point where this bike, although it did better there, it might suffer compared to the D3F because it has got smaller pedal throw length. So let's see how it does. Pedaling to the top. It is harder to pedal this one. Like I say, the pedal arms are shorter. However, with its extra power, it might do better. And yes, I do look ridiculous, but here we go. The man in the van was laughing at me. But we are making it, and I don't feel as tired as I did before. I'm just giving it a helping hand. Worth noting on the DY3 S2 that pedal assist is not as strong as throttle, so I'll let go of the throttle. Actually, it's fine. I don't know where I got that idea from. It's definitely not as fast. We definitely tested that before and it wasn't as fast, but now I'm off the throttle. Actually, I'm getting a bit of a boost, but I'm still going fine on pedal assist. But the fact is, the DY S2 is making it up the hill, and I'm a lot less tired than I was with the D3F.
So the S2 is nicer up hills too. Even though it's smaller, it can take roughly the same sized humans. Why would you even consider the D3F over the S2? Well, the 10-inch tyres on the S2 are a bit hard, making for a much rougher ride. The 14-inch wheels on the D3F are actually quite nice. The S2 does come with a suspension saddle, but it's not that helpful. To be honest though, I could probably put up with those things, but the huge advantage that the D3F has over the S2 is the fact that you can actually pick it up. The tubular frame that covers the body of the D3F is literally really handy. The S2 cannot be carried easily. Yes, you can pick it up and move it about, but you wouldn't want to carry it up to your flat or office, for example, and that ability is massive for this kind of bike. Another advantage of the bar is that you can actually get a child seat for it, but you might not care that much about that. So there we have two bikes from DYU that basically do what e-scooters do, but legally, depending on which country you're in. They aren't perfect bikes, but they do their job extremely well. If you think you might purchase one and this review has helped make your mind up, then please do use the affiliate links below to help support the channel and to let the manufacturers know that this channel is actually worth their time, so I can review their products and you'll get my honest opinion about the bikes that they make.
If you enjoyed that or got something from the video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. And if you want to keep up with fun electric vehicle and e-bike content, don't forget to subscribe. It is totally free. And until next time, e-bike is live!